10 Notorious Cold-Blooded Killers Who Were Murdered in Prison. Welcome to Creepshow, your haunt for chilling stories. Today we're talking about 10 notorious killers who didn't escape their crimes, not even behind bars. Let's dive into the fates of these cold-blooded murderers who met brutal ends in prison. Number 10. Jeffrey Dahmer. First up, the infamous Milwaukee Cannibal. Jeffrey Dahmer, who killed and ate 17 men. He was beaten to death with a metal bar by another prisoner. Number 9. James Whitey. Bulger. Next is James Whitey. Bulger, a notorious Boston crime boss and FBI informant who was convicted for 11 murders. 2 inmates beat him to death with a sock full of padlocks. Number 8. Leroy Martin. Known as the Gaffney Strangler, Leroy Martin was convicted of killing 4 young women. He was stabbed to death in prison by fellow inmate Kenneth Rumsey. Number 7. Gerard John Schaefer. A former sheriff turned serial killer, Gerard John Schaefer abducted and murdered at least 2 teenage girls. He was stabbed to death by his fellow inmate Vincent Rivera. Number 6. Charles Schmid. Known as the Pied Piper of Tucson, Schmid lured and murdered 3 girls. His life ended after 2 prisoners stabbed him 47 times. Number 5. Richard Loeb. Next is Richard Loeb, who alongside Nathan Leopold murdered a young boy in their quest for the perfect crime. Loeb was viciously beaten to death by fellow inmate James Day. Number 4. Thor Nisse Christiansen. Known as the Mad Dane, Thor Nisse Christiansen shot and violated 4 young women, was stabbed to death at Folsom State Prison. Number 3. Donald Harvey. Donald Harvey, the so-called Angel of Death for killing 40 to 57 hospital patients in his care, died after an inmate beat and stomped him. Number 2. Leopold Dion. Canadian killer. Leopold Dion raped 21 boys and killed others. Met his end when inmate Normand Champagne, known as Lawrence of Arabia, stabbed him to death. Number 1. Albert DeSalvo. Finally, we have Albert DeSalvo, better known as the Boston Strangler, was in prison for killing 13 women. 6 years into his imprisonment, he was stabbed to death in his cell. That wraps up our list of 10 notorious killers who met their end behind bars. Justice found them in the most unexpected ways. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe to Creepshow. We'll be back soon with more chilling stories.